In this episode of Weekly Poker Hand, let's take a look at a spot where Rampage Poker tries to punt off his stack. Surprise, surprise.
The very next shuffle, I pick up ace-10 offsuit once again. Going to be tricky to play this one. I'm in the big blind this time. The hijack this time raises to 100. I flick in a call, and we see a flop of queen, jack, 5, 2 diamonds.
Fine.
Here, I check it over to my opponent, and he bets $150. Certainly could fold this sometimes, but here I make the call, and we see the turn, which is the 8 of hearts.
Slow down, Rampage. Slow down, Rampage. Ace of hearts, 10 of spades. Facing a big bet on the flop on queen, jack, 5, 2 diamonds. We have no diamonds. I think it's probably fine just to let it go. Like, look, normally you're not trying to fold gut shots to the nuts, but I think this is a spot where unless we get exactly a king, we're going to be very unhappy. Because say an ace comes. If the opponent keeps betting, that's not great. If a 10 comes, that's obviously not good too. And even if you do get a king, sometimes it's going to be a diamond or the river's going to come a diamond and you're still going to lose. So against a big bet of something like 3/4 pot or bigger, I'd probably just let this one go immediately. If you had a diamond, though, you certainly can't fold. All right, turns the 8 of hearts.
I check one more time, and now my opponent throws out a bet of $260. This is when I start recording because I think I want to get a little spicy with this turn card.
Well, let's think about this. So the opponent bets half pot on the turn. They are saying they like their hand at this point. When the 8 does come, they usually should use a smaller size because there is now a straight available, definitely one that Rampage could have. We discussed this thoroughly in the Cash Game Masterclass at pokercoaching.com. Make sure you check that out. So what kind of hands want to bluff in this situation? Well, I'm not entirely sure how deep the players are, but I think it's more than $5,000. So when the opponent bets 260, a raise to something like 800 or 900 would not put Rampage anywhere near all in. And if he does raise, he should not expect to get re-raised all that often because Rampage is going to have a lot of 10-9s in his range. So if Rampage wants to bluff, he probably wants to have mostly high equity bluffs. That's going to be hands like flush draws and straight draws. And notice that his ace-10 is actually a double gut shot straight because if he gets a king, he has a straight, as well as if he gets a 9. So I think this is a pretty reasonable hand to bluff. Sure, go for it.
Look, it doesn't improve me, doesn't do anything for me, but I do have a 10 in my hand, and I was calling for a straight draw, so it is very likely that I could also have 10-9, which is open-ended. And now 10-9 is the nut straight here on the board, and I decide to go for it, and let's get spicy and active. I'm all about bluffing, and this time is going to be no different. I check raise to $1,000 here, sizing things up, trying to apply a lot of pressure. Anyways,
Before we move forward, Rampage likes bluffing. What I want to know is, why do you like watching Rampage Poker? Because he has super duper high level strategy content? Because he plays bigger than almost everyone? Because you love watching him torch his money? Or some other reason? Take a second, think about it, write it in the comments section below, and while you're down there, do me a favor, click the like and subscribe button. Here we go.
With this check raise of $1,000, my opponent isn't going to go anywhere just yet. He's going to be tough and tricky. He makes the call here, so we're trying to get spicy here, but I do have a 2-way straight draw. Anyways, the river is none of those, not the king nor the 9. It's a 3.
Ugh.
Complete brick on the board, and well, I could easily slow down here, okay? To be fair, I could easily give up, but that is not why you tune into this channel and why you watch these poker videos. It's because I don't give up, and you'll never give up. With ace high and a dream, I just check raise the turn. I'm representing a very strong hand, and I'm going to bet like I have the nuts here, 10-9. I fire out $3,300 into the middle.
I love this bet by Rampage. He is using an overpot size bet. I was making a YouTube video recently. I talked about how most people, when they overbet the river, they usually just have a really good hand. Most people, when they face overbets, they start to fold out a whole lot of stuff. I think what a lot of people do wrong in Rampage's shoes is they bet half pot or 80% pot. But if you do that, and your opponent has a pair, especially a queen, they're just going to call every time. But when you start pulling out the overbets, it's going to put your opponents in really tricky, really nasty situations because they have to risk a lot to start to win relatively little, at least compared to the normal pots that they play. In this situation, Rampage really does not want to have a diamond in his hand to bluff. He wants his opponent to have busted diamonds like 9-8 of diamonds or something like that. Because imagine you have 9-8 of diamonds in this spot. You had a pair. It's the best hand. But facing this over pot size bet, you're going to feel at least somewhat inclined to fold. So I think this is a pretty good bluff hand. If we got to the river in this situation with this hand, I think you got to go for it. If you're going to go for it, you need to go big because you're trying to get a decent one pair hand to fold. 3,300 from Rampage. Nice.
Big and chunky overbets. And now we just have to sit here and wait. With $3,300 out, considering how small this game is playing so far, I think this is going to be one of the biggest pots of the night and probably one of the bigger bets I'm going to throw out here tonight. So it's a pretty big sweat. I kind of want to get this bluff through because of how meaningful this is. Anyways, he does end up tank folding after all of this time waiting. Well worth the wait. Nice to see that result. He believes me, and I'll take this one down with ace high.
Rampage tried to punt. His opponent would not let him. Lucky for Rampage. He probably won't be so lucky next time, though.